we're going to give you a tutorial on how to remove and replace the flag sensors for the toner sensor board. Basic steps that we're going to take is we're going to take out the system board for the printer, remove this side panel. We're actually going to take off this top lid. It's just plastic and the LCD screen with 10 retaining screws. And once you do that, you can pretty much get to the sensor board and the flags that we're actually going to swap out. And it shouldn't take maybe 10 minutes to actually do this from start to finish. So first we're going to remove the system board, which is just held in by 2 retaining screws, and then it will slide right out. One screw on top, one on bottom. It slides right out. Set this aside. Next thing we're actually going to do is take off the side panel. We got 3 screws on the bottom, and then 4 screws on top. We're going to take off the 3 screws on the bottom of the side panel, here, inside of here, and inside of here. Now we're going to have to take out the 4 screws holding in the top of this side cover. There's one black one, which is screwed into plastic, so you have to remember where that one goes. And then there's 3 goldish copper ones that screw into sheet metal. So we're just going to take those out. So once you've removed the 3 screws on the bottom and the 4 screws on the top, the side panel is just going to slide right up. Just like that. Okay, so now we're actually going to take out the 10 retaining screws that hold this top plastic assembly on. There's one here, inside here, right in the middle between the lasers, right here. There's one hidden under this 3rd laser. There's 3 along here. There's one on this side. And then the reason we had to take off this side panel is to get to this one hidden screw behind these cables. I don't know if you can see it. There's a screw hidden behind there. That's the reason we had to take off that side panel. Okay, so after taking out the 10 screws, you want to be careful that the top plastic doesn't actually fall off. So if it's still attached, just pull it out, and you have a ribbon cable connecting to the LCD screen, the front panel, and you're just going to take that right out of there. Okay, so after taking off the top plastic cover, you have to disconnect these 4 cables that are connecting each one of the laser units. And this 4th one you might not be able to see. It's right under here. Okay, so after you disconnected the cables, you're going to want to close the lid. But when you do this, you want to do it very carefully. Don't close it all the way. Just like that's perfectly fine. What we're actually going to do now is take out the 3 retaining screws that hold in the toner sensor board, and then I'll be able to show you how to take out the flags. Once you've taken out the 3 screws that hold in the sensor board, you can just lift it up and out, and it's easy if you want to disconnect this ribbon cable so you don't actually break it. And you can just leave that sitting there. So, now we got to take out these flags. There's 4 of them, one for each color, and they're pretty simple to take out. So just an overview of what these flags actually do is inside the toner cartridge they have little magnets right in these little windows, and when you actually close the lid, we're not going to close it, but when you actually do close it, these flags will pick up, and once they pick up just a little bit, it will break this laser going across this sensor board, and it'll say I have toner or I don't. So what can happen is the magnet can get very weak, as to where this doesn't lift up at all or far enough to kick off this sensor. So taking out the toner sensor board, you can just lift up probably 50% of the way and it'll stay there. And underneath here is the flags right here, and you want to push on this side and this side to pop it out. Okay. So you're just going to want to slightly push on each side, and now it's out. So what we're going to do is close the lid slightly, and this flag will pull right out. That's your flag. Yep. So now when you have a new one of these, the flags, you kind of just set it in there, and on the left and right sides just push down, and now it's snapped in. It'll move freely. So just to show you what it will actually do, you can see the flag resting on the metal now. But when you actually do close the lid, it will pick up just so slightly off of that metal sheet, maybe a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch depending on the magnetism. And now it's stuck up.